Hey, it's 2025. We're back.
We're back. First
Yeah.
show of the year.
Musings back. Back again.
He's a fellow Michigander, and maybe
Yeah.
he'll record that song for us.
There we go. I doubt it. He wants some monies. But of course, he's rooting our Lions. Go Lions. The number one seed in the NFC.
Not just the NFC,
Of
because
NFL. Yeah.
all of NFL. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we look at the last few years, and I love Campbell talking about that. He just said, "Look, we came, this has been 3 years making. It was really 4, but 3 years making, and they came out hard. I mean, back to back North NFC champions. They earned it. It's funny because it's 2 weeks ago they kept saying, "Oh, they're going to play, this game before the Vikings. They're playing the 49ers." Doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. I'm like, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does mean something. They only have to beat the Vikings. It's like, it means something because you don't want to hold back.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike the Kansas City Chiefs, who basically allowed, I think it was Denver to just whoop their behinds 35-0.
Yeah.
So,
well, the sad thing about that though is
it screwed out 2 other teams that even had a chance. Yeah.
Yeah, they, who knows? But as far as the Lions go, here's what amazes me with the Lions is when you look at the points for and points against, and then you net it out for the net points, we are by far crushing everybody. We have 222 net points for the season. The next closest one in the entire NFL is the Philadelphia Eagles at 160. Then you get down the list, like 49ers, or I mean, not 49ers, Kansas City, they're at like 50.
Yeah.
Something like that. So, and why that's so amazing is, we're known for our amazing offense, but our defense is so decimated. We should be very close.
And we were against
our spread
the Bills a couple weeks ago. It was a close game. We lost to the Bills.
Right. But for the season, we have outperformed everybody when you look at offense and defense combined. That's insane.
No,
LA Rams, they're at minus 19 for the season. They've actually given up more points than they've scored for the whole season.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing. We just dominated.
It is fantastic to watch. I stayed up late watching the Sunday Night Football and having to work the next day, and I still got up more to work and that. But I did kind of doze. I fell asleep during the third quarter, woke up because we weren't winning by much then. Woke up, I was like, oh my god, it's 24-9. But that's the thing. The Vikings, who have been a high scoring team too, kept them to 9 points, and they shut them down in the red zone almost every time. That first half, though, I swear, they could not get out of that one end zone. They just kept going back and forth. And I was like, oh my god, come on.
Yeah.
And
that was huge that our defense stopped them, because our defense, we are on our 4th and 5th string people for like a lot of these positions.
People are back, and they announced yesterday that Montgomery will be back for the first game in the playoffs. They've been hinting heavily at rumors that Hutch will be ready for the Super Bowl. He was on the sidelines working with the team, working with the defense during last week's game. Kind of in a manager type thing, but he was basically, talking to all of them, encouraging them, saying, here's what I'm saying, do this, this, and this. So he was doing the role that he should do, which is as a leader coming in and saying, okay, I know you're out there and I can't be out there, but here's what you got to do. And this is what I'm seeing. And then that turned the tide. You saw that second half was even more defense dominated by the Lions.
Well, and our return of, and I'm going to say his last name wrong, Alex Anazola.
Yep.
You really saw the impact he had on the defense right away. I mean, him returning to that defensive line, he made many very key plays early on. So he alone, it just shows the power of one player. But I think the unsung heroes of this season, I mean, Campbell, Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson have been doing amazing. But whoever is finding all of these 4th and 5th string people to sign to fill in these spots, and people who nobody else has wanted, people gave up on them.
You look at Zacharias Smith.
Talent is amazing.
Zacharias Smith was the one they were able to get to trade for, and he came from the Cleveland Browns, and you tell he really loves being here. He's playing hard. He loves. I love when he gets a sack because he does that little crawl thing and
Oh,
jump. And he knows. He goes, "Yeah, I know. I'm here to help because Hutch can't play." But he wants to show that he's a dominant player, and I think he's able to do it with this defense. But the thing is that Campbell said this the last couple of weeks during their after game locker room stuff. It's the people there, they want to be there. And that's been the key is every player, no matter what their role is with the Lions, wants to be in Detroit. They want to be playing. They want to play for Campbell. They want to play for the other guys. I mean, every single one doesn't take credit as an individual. They say, thank you. I can't do it without you guys. If it's a defensive game ball, they think the defense. Offense, they think the offense. And then even offense like Goff, when he gets it, he doesn't just thank his front line, but he also thanks the defense for getting the ball back to him so he can keep going. So it's a full team effort. I've never seen anything like this truly with as much as some of the teams that do well, even the Chiefs or whatever else have done well last year, even Patriots. This is showing how much of a true team effort really is and how much they really did. And the thing that they did, which is 4 years ago, was they essentially fired everybody from the top down. And they needed to do that years ago. And by having a new ownership come in to take over to run it, bringing in the general manager, bringing in Campbell, and then looking for the players that wanted to be there, that weren't just there to collect a paycheck.
Yeah.
And too much of that for many years. But it's just so fun. And we got a bye week this week, and then we got so a week from probably either Sunday night or Monday night, we'll have the next game.
Well, it'll be curious to see how Kansas City does, because as the one seeds for each of our, in each of these divisions, you get the bye week. So by them throwing away this last week, they're going to have 2 down weeks, which on one hand can be good health-wise, but on the other hand, are you going to, the question becomes, are you going to be rusty?
I know Mahomes has been playing up to that point a little bit hurt.
Yes.
So this gave him a chance to fully rest.
But they rested everybody.
Yeah, they did. Well, and that was a game that truly meant nothing. Whether they won or lost, they were already the top.
They didn't even try. What was it? 0 to like 30 something?
Yeah, 35 or whatever. 0 got to. I think Denver gets the playoffs from that. It screwed the Bengals out of playoff chance. And what was it? One other team, I think Carolina, either Carolina or Jacksonville. I forget which one. But it was, and they're like talking about suing now the league for allowing that to happen. It's like they played people. They didn't just say here's the ball. They just put in guys that don't normally get to play that could do it. So 38-0. Mom just said 38-0.
38-0. Wow. Yeah, but, that wasn't even. That was, they were giving out raffle tickets to people in the audience, like, hey, you want to play for a day? Come on down.
No, we'll give you Kelsey's number.
You get a free signing with Taylor Swift.
So the last few weeks stuff has been off. We had some great Lions footage. Watching that, and
the other thing too, I want to point out too, which is so amazing with the Detroit, is the fan base.
Yeah,
everywhere they play, we were undefeated on the road this year. Undefeated in the toughest division in NFL history. No one's had this many wins in a division. We hit all these spots, but our fans go everywhere. And Minnesota tried to emulate it. They bought $2 million worth of tickets for their fans to come and invade Ford Field.
And if you saw the crowd, though, you saw little sparks of the burgundy or whatever color.
Well, did you hear what happened?
They split them all throughout the whole place.
Well, no, what happened is they bought all these tickets for their fans, and then the fans saw how much they could get for the tickets and then sold them. So only a fraction came.
Oh, geez, I didn't realize that.
They resold them to Lions fans.
Well, yeah, because it was the price is crazy. I had a friend of mine I went to high school with posted. He got a ticket to, I think, the first playoff game, and he spent like $2,500 for 2 tickets.
Yeah. This could be a once in a lifetime thing. We hope this is something that
I love to see this as the start of a dynasty, and I don't expect them to win it every year, but to see them be the last 2 years and really almost 3 years really competitive. Because 3 years ago they started off tough, losing, and people are like, same with Lions. I was like, no, they're not playing the same. If you look, it's different.
They were different.
They were still coming together, and they weren't losing by much. They weren't getting smoked. It was just, and then all of a sudden something clicked, and you can see. And when it all clicked for everybody on the team, they all came together. It's like got that gears together, and bam, and they went and had it. They basically missed the playoffs by 1 game.
I think what clicked
So
is buying into Dan Campbell. I remember a speech he gave, and because it was the preseason, and he was making them practice with pads on and hitting.
mhm.
And he said, I know you guys don't like this. I know you guys don't want this, but you just got to believe me. This is what it's going to take, and this is going to work. And I just need you to believe me. And I feel like the click was them buying in
Yeah.
and saying, you know what, he is doing something different, and he's doing something that's going to work. And his post game speeches in the locker room are just so good. I mean, it's like I feel like you could take any of his speeches and put them like in Braveheart or something. And
I look forward to them every week. Every Monday,
do.
I always look for them online when I have a moment, and
Yep.
I'll sit and watch them. And
you can see the love in the locker room. These guys
well,
are
that's
a
the whole
true
thing.
team.
And it's not just all the major stars; it's everybody. It's everybody that wants to be there. Everybody knows the role they're giving to this team. And Campbell's talked about it in different conferences, press conferences about, even these guys we bring in for the practice squad are giving 100%. They know what they need to do to help us get there, and that's why it's a full team effort. But yeah, he's coming, and now people are starting to understand when Campbell came in how they call it the tough talk, and they thought it was just so disgusting and rude. Going to bite off kneecaps and this. I was like, you understand? It's the Detroit grit, and that's been the best thing he ever did was talk about the grit and introduce that into the thing. It's like it's Detroit is a hardworking blue collar town, and that's where the team had to be, and to be coming in and say, look, we got to work hard, we got to fight hard. We don't quit, and they never do. And that's like even Jerry Jones early on when they played the Cowboys, getting mad because they were running up the score. He's like, no, Campbell knows you don't quit, and you can't quit just because you're up by 30 points even.
Yeah. I mean, look at Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I mean, he had comebacks of he has the record setting comeback. I don't remember what it was, but it was like 35, 40 points in a quarter.
Super Bowl. The Super Bowl. It came back 30 points, like 30 points in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so never give
up. People were leaving the game and playing, and he come back and just he put on an exhibition. And the thing was this though, as much as he did on the offense, he had a defense that stepped up just as well to get that ball back.
These are highly trained professionals. Even the worst player in the NFL is better than 99.9% of all people in the world. Yeah. So you can't give up, because if you give that little bit, people can find a crack that they can then open up into something wide. And the other thing with Campbell is they've been so down on him for so much. And even going into the game, the national media, all they kept talking about is how the other coach from Minnesota should be MVP and he's the best coach. No respect given to Campbell.
Well, there's no respect given to Detroit anyways on the national scale. Anyways, but when they're praising him, you got some of these guys that just still come back and just want to completely trash the Detroit teams. It doesn't matter if it's just football, baseball, whatever. It's like they have zero love or respect for Detroit-based teams.
But you're seeing the genius of Campbell come through in that, like, the criticism about, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago about him going for fourth downs.
Yeah.
But you really saw it in the Minnesota game where he said, I want it to be so normal for my guys that when we go for it, they're not worried. They're not stressed. And then you saw Minnesota try. Campbell got in his head and he went for fourth down, and they were frazzled because for them, they weren't used to that situation.
And the thing was, it started partly because Campbell didn't have a good kicker. I mean, that was part of it. But at the same time, it was the same mentality of he wanted to be able to go for it to really push. I mean, it's something that he goes, I didn't want it to be the same thing that's throughout the NFL, which is you get to fourth down, excuse me, and you basically just quit and just kick the ball. He goes, I wanted my guy, like I said, not to be afraid of it. And when they don't make it, it's not a big deal. They don't stress about it. They move on and they try to get the ball back. And that's the key. And it shows, because look how many times they go for it. I mean, and bam.
Look at the percentage of the conversions. It's showing the numbers back his philosophy. Yeah. And you're starting to see more and more coaches go for it on fourth down now. He's changing the mindset of the entire league.
Yeah. And it's making the game more exciting.
It is.
It really is. But you watch like the Lions guys, they hand off the ball for a guy to run on that fourth down, and his guys get behind him and they will push him. And the thing these guys do is they do exactly what they tell you to do when you're a kid. Just keep moving your feet. So that's what they're doing. They're just running the feet, and the guys push. And that's where they're getting an extra 2, 3, 4 yards. What's up, Eric?
Hey, Eric.
So
Yeah.
Eric's got I haven't seen his take. Eric, I don't know if you've seen that Mufasa yet. Eric does the great reviews on Disney. What I love is he's very honest about them and how good or bad they are, especially the live action stuff. And I would say Mufasa, it's photorealistic live action, but
Yeah.
I personally am not going to be seeing, because I looked at it and go, why do you have to tell me the backstory when you basically give us the backstory at the beginning of the Lion King? So, but hey, let's knock out your quick ad read, and then we'll get going on everything else.
All right. Well, 2025 is here. And if you're thinking about buying or selling a home this year, give us a call. A lot has changed. What we're seeing on the market right now is there's a lot of sellers who are shooting themselves in the foot. They're thinking things are how they used to be. They think they're going to get this crazy price. They're going to ask for price it too high and still get 40, 50,000 more than that. And it's going to sell in one weekend. That's not happening anymore. The dynamics are changing. More listings are starting to come out. The crazy bidding wars aren't happening like they were. And how you price it is going to be very key to whether or not your house gets a great turnout at the beginning, gets some offers, or it becomes stale, in which case now you're chasing it where you're constantly dropping price, hoping to entice people in. You want to really have a strategy in place that will maximize your sales price. Too many people focus on the listing price. Your goal is the sales price. And we are going to give you a strategy to maximize your sales price. So give us a call, 586-232-5144. Jill or I will answer the phone, and we'll free consultation. There's no cost to you, no you don't have to sign anything, but we'll talk to you about your goals and what you're looking to do and come up with a game plan for you.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
So we got Eric there chime in real quick, and he did say that he watched Mufasa last night and couldn't stand it.
Oh, ouch.
I personally, the trailers didn't look good. I still haven't seen the live action Lion King, as I call it, but because it's photo, so I'm like, it's the same story. You just try to update, you did CGI, and it doesn't make it better or even worse. It just made it, I think the only thing they did I found enjoyable, it was years ago, after the Lion King came out, they did a straight to home video, Lion King 1.5. It was from the point of view of Timon and Pumbaa. And that was funny because, it's still telling the Lion King story again, but it's from their point of view. So it had a lot more humor and stuff like that was outside of the main story. And I thought that was actually funny. It was
right.
Great. These prequels, I'm over all the prequels. There's too many. Everybody just goes, we'll just tell the prequel story. No, we already know it. Don't need to keep telling it. I mean, it doesn't add anything to that story, to the Lion King. Well, fine. We know Mufasa, Scar, how they came up. Big deal now. We know what happens in the next one. Scar kills Mufasa. So, yeah, garbage on that stuff.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that's been that whole year. Hopefully this next year is a little better.
I hope so. I mean, we got sequels coming out, which is fine, but it's.
But when I look at the whole schedule for next year, it's not that exciting to me.
I am looking forward to seeing the new Captain America. I think that looks good.
Which I'm surprised is in February.
Well, you got to think Deadpool came out in February, the first one, and did very well. And I'm thinking there's nothing else really come out in February. And plus, Marvel's got, 3-4 films this year now?
We got Thunderbolts in... Captain America in February. Thunderbolts is May. Let me double check.
Yeah,
Thunderbolts is May.
And I think Captain America goes into Thunderbolts.
And then you got
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four is July.
And Fantastic Four, I think, is not necessarily directly tied into the other two. It sounds, because it's set in a different...
They're going to be in the 60s, aren't they?
I think so, yes. Let's see. You got some of that going on.
See if there's any other Marvel. So July looks like the last Marvel, unless there's a... Nope. Yeah, so we got Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, and Captain America coming out in 2025. But let's see. Well, we're in January. Let's see. I got on Movie Insider. The Wolfman's coming out by Universal Pictures.
Yeah, and that's gonna. I think they're doing that. I think it's gonna tie into the new Epic theme park a little bit.
Yeah, they keep trying to revive it. They really screwed up with the whole Tom Cruise angle.
Yeah, I finally watched that last year, and I had never seen it because I like it didn't appeal. It really was garbage.
Yeah,
It was not a good story. It was just a Tom Cruise film. It wasn't, and then what they did with some of the stuff, and I was like, come on, guys, this is not good.
yeah.
So
The trailers, it looked like it was a Tom Cruise movie, and they said, "Well, let's just add our version of monsters in there and see what we can do." It's like,
yeah,
why make it horror? Make it true horror.
yeah, and that's what I think they're going back to. Then you need to launch. The Benicio del Toro Wolfman was great. And people
Yeah.
sometimes still trash. I go, I don't know what you thought you were going to see, but they did. It was classic. It went back to the time that works better for it. I mean, if you do it
Mhm.
modern times, it's fine. But really, the modern time werewolf, you're looking at American Werewolf in London, which is a great film in itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got those movies coming out. We do have a couple things I'm looking forward to. I'm curious about 28 Years Later because I always like the first 28 movies, 28 days, 28
I still
months.
have not seen any of them.
Oh, okay. They were good, I thought.
Never.
But it's been several years, so I need to rewatch
Yeah.
those. I am because I like the last one, and this will be the final one is the Mission Impossible, the Final Reckoning is coming out in
Yes.
May,
The last one was good on that.
and I enjoyed that. Megan 2.0 is coming out.
Oh, okay.
That'll be
They
out this
did a
year
good
too.
job with the first one.
Yep. I'm slightly curious, but not hopeful for a new Jurassic World rebirth, considering that the Jurassic World trilogy they did after the first movie just sucked.
Yeah,
And
they
so
they got too caught up in this whole side story of whatever they were trying to do.
I personally think I'd love to see them taking more of a longer break than they did. And if you want to do Jurassic Park, relaunch it, but do more true to the book. The book is a lot different than the original movie in a lot of
Yeah.
different ways, and would up the intensity factor. And I think it would be better received in the long run. So, and then for us Tron fans, I get the new Tron Ares is coming out.
When's that coming out?
It's going to come out in October.
Okay.
It's Jared Leto's going to be in that one.
Nice.
So
I enjoyed the way they rebooted it. Like it was like a soft reboot. They kept the original intact, moved it on.
They basically did, and what they did was, we know this happened, and since technology has changed, here's what's upgraded.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Oh, here's one. The Accountant 2. I really enjoyed the first one.
With Affleck. Yeah.
And he was we have autism, is that what it was? And he had something and that made him really good at like remembering patterns and stuff
yeah.
And like but like he was like
well, he was autistic, and that's how it worked. So
yeah,
they died into it. So,
but they did a really good job with the first one. So, but it's the kind where I probably won't see it in the theater, but once it's on streaming, I will watch it.
Yeah. So Kevin chiming in. Morning, Kevin.
Kevin.
And then he said the Wolfman looks good, but he also said Nosferatu was fantastic. I still haven't seen that yet.
I wanted to see that. I have not seen that yet.
So, and then Robert chiming in about the Star Trek 31, but that's on Paramount. That's not films. So, and then Eric kind of agrees with Jurassic World. Nervous of, yeah, we'll see on that. So,
Final Destination has another one coming.
Yeah, I saw that's coming out, and we have a Predator Badlands. So the director Dan Trachtenberg hit the bullseye with Prey. So this one, that's when he was in 1719. Badlands takes the opposite route, sending the Predator to an alien planet far in the future. So we should see what they do there. We have to wait for a trailer on that one. See if there's anything there.
Oh, How to Train Your Dragon, June 13th.
Yeah, and I'm actually excited about that. Yeah, that looks good for what they've shown for live action. And they're going to kind of expand the story just a little bit within that. But I like the casting. Of course, the dad's played by the same guy that did the voice. So that's what always works out. Zootopia 2 has a film coming out. I love the first Zootopia animated film.
Mm-hmm.
So
here's one from the world of John Wick, Ballerina. That's in June.
They're really spreading out some of the John Wick stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. We have a new Paddington coming out. If you're listening to that, if you listen to Bob and Tom show, Tom loves the Paddington movies. Says they're the best movies ever. And I'll say they were good. They're good movies. And then the next one looks pretty good too for the Paddington series. So,
Superman, July 11th.
Yep. looking forward to that. I like the trailer for that. That was really good. I think they're finally going back to capture some of that. Plus the fact that you got to see Crypto, and they didn't just like he wasn't animated. He was a real dog. He just showed up and basically helped me. So they're like, oh wow, they're really going around that stuff, and I like that. And it's going to be its own thing.
Yeah.
So and then you've got well, we see Guy Gardner in that. So it felt a little bit like James Gunn is taking a hint from the original Kevin Smith script from the 90s. Like, okay, we'll just throw in some different people here and there and show that there's already a fleshed out world of heroes and then
Yeah.
go from there. So
What's funny is the backlash on the Guy Gardner one, Nathan Fillion, how he looks, but that's how the character looks in the comics. I mean, he's got like the worst villain haircut ever. But...
Oh yeah, he's not a great looking guy. He's just, which I think it fits.
Yeah,
it's
they nailed the look perfectly for the character. I mean,
yeah, and that's I think it's gonna be fun, and it doesn't look. I don't think he has a big part, but I think it's gonna be. They showed him in the trailer, but I have a feeling he's gonna be more of a minor character in the whole scheme of things. But
right,
I like that again. They're introducing other elements without having to do like 100 movies without overestimating it and not coming like, well, here's this crap and we're giving you a few things right away. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That looks really good.
yeah.
So then we have the live action Lilo and Stitch, which is a little bit I've seen. That seems to be getting a little bit of positivity towards it. That one kind of lends itself to doing okay transferring over to live action better than other ones like the upcoming Snow White, where they completely trash the story. And
yeah. You got Karate Kid Legends coming out in May.
That looks good. The trailer was fantastic on that one. They're tying in the Jackie Chan Karate Kid with the Miyagi series of movies and Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai still got a few more episodes left they have to drop. And I think they're waiting to do that just so it ties in better into the upcoming movie.
Yep.
So.
Oh, Nobody too. Nobody was the one with Better Call Saul.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize they were doing a sequel to that. Bob Odenkirk, yeah.
Yeah. So that was surprisingly good. I went in there thinking, oh, this will be okay, but it was really good.
It's a solid movie.
Yeah, solid action movie.
Yeah, yeah. It was a great character driven movie. Because they really hammered home the fact that he is nobody, but you could tell he was somebody. Yeah. And then of course you got Christopher Lloyd was playing his dad, and finally basically they're all just were assassins or whatever. And it was good, and I like the fact that unlike some movies, and they even did this little John Wick, but that one really, I mean, he got his butt kicked quite a bit, and they showed it. It was, it's nice. Let's see these guys stay all pristine. He got hurt, but he still did everything, and that's what I liked about John Wick too. He still got his licks in, but they go more over the top with the style of John Wick versus what they did in Nobody. So.
Oh, they're coming out with a remake of The Running Man, the Arnold Schwarzenegger's movie.
Yeah.
The game show with who's going to be in this? Let's see, The Running Man.
Edgar Wright's directing it, so that may not be too bad.
Okay. You got Glenn Powell.
Okay.
Cera.
Josh Brolin's in it. He plays the ruthless producer.
Yeah.
Katie O'Brien's a contestant. So.
Well, they got some good names in here.
I'll have to wait and see a trailer on that. Oh, Michael Cera's in it. William H. Macy, Sean Hayes. So I got some interesting names on this thing. Yeah. I'll be curious to see how they build the story around it. Because the funny thing about the Running Man, the original movie, now you watch it go, oh, this feels too much like the real world now because they can manipulate the news like they did there.
Yeah, we really do have the technology for all this stuff.
Yeah.
It is crazy. Who would be the best game show host? I guess now we would have to have Steve Harvey in the movie as
well, if you go in that route, yeah.
They had a real life game show host play in that movie. So.
It worked that Richard Dawson was also a good actor.
Well, he plays the scummy guy really well.
But the thing was, he came in with this acting chops he had. Plus, he'd had all those years on the Family Feud at that point, and the way he was, and basically, and also he was a great contestant on like the Match Game and other stuff in the 70s. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they mentioned like Brolin as the producer, so I'm thinking that okay, they're going instead of having the or the host, he was the host and the producer and the main guy. May have a couple different people. They have someone actually hosting the show versus Brolin, who's the producer controlling the aspects of what's going on more. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see because there is no. I mean, Harvey's good on Family Feud, but when it comes to game shows and game show hosts now, we don't have the icons that you and I grew up on.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, I guess their biggest names are Steve Harvey. You got Drew Carey and Wayne Brady.
Yeah, the current ones. And then, of course, you could still bring in Pat Sajak. He retired from doing Wheel of Fortune. He's probably the last iconic one that we've had.
That's who has to be the host and Running Man.
And that would be great. So
that would be good.
Yeah.
Let's see. They got a Five Nights at Freddy's 2 coming out, too.
Yep. They've been talking about that for a little while. So that's definitely looking forward to that a little bit. I like the first one. And that's interesting. I know streaming-wise, I'm actually looking forward. That's coming out pretty soon is Happy Gilmore 2.
Yes.
And because that's part of his Netflix deal. But I have a feeling this is a movie that we could probably have had released in the theaters and people would have gone and seen it. So
yeah.
So, but I like to see that. I like that they're coming back to that and revisiting that storyline.
Let's see. They have some things labeled as to be announced. There's no dates, but there is a Star Trek sequel listed. But I can't imagine they keep
other than the Level 31, and then we should get a new season of Strange New Worlds. That should be
that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, but there is a new Frankenstein coming out this year.
Is there?
So yeah.
When's that?
That one is Guillermo del Toro. I haven't got an actual release day on that.
Is that The Bride?
No. Well, I think he's incorporating the Bride into it, but it's Oscar Isaac. No, it's called Frankenstein. Oscar Isaac is playing Dr. Victor Frankenstein. So I'm not sure. And then Jacob Ellerby is playing the monster.
Frankenstein official trailer. Here, there is a trailer that came out.
Okay.
Oh, it's gonna be a Netflix movie.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Let's see here.
It's Guillermo though, and I like Guillermo's work, so
he does it. Yeah, he does a great job. So I would like to see what he's doing. I'm trying. That's
Jill says the host from Hunger Games would be good. That's Stanley Tucci.
Oh yes,
Stanley Tucci would be good for the host too.
He would
if you didn't use a real game show host.
Yes. Let's see. I'm trying to find the actual. It says official trailer, but that's not a trailer. Let's see this. Try and find. Oh well. Yeah. I'll have to look it up later. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, there's some stuff that there's more coming out this year that I'm looking forward to than
this past
last year.
Yeah, and
there's no Star Wars. Nothing good Star Wars.
Well, Star Wars, we've got Andor coming out, and then
Andor and Skeleton Crew. Thankfully, has been great.
Yeah, I haven't even watched. I forgot to watch last night's episode. I forgot it was Tuesday.
I'm not caught up right now with that one.
So
but everything else I loved.
But then we've got a year from May will be the Mandalorian Grogu. That's gonna wrap up everything. So I think we get Ahsoka season 2 prior to that. I'm not positive. Okay. But I know that's kind of now. It's Andor season 2, Ahsoka season 2, and that wraps those up. And then we have the Mandalorian one, and then everything they announced that should be going forward has not been. Nothing's in production. Nothing's moving forward, and I think it's just them holding back. I think it's really Favreau and Filoni not wanting to release too much information now on stuff coming soon because it's not relevant at this time.
Yeah. Let's see. Right now, they're projecting Ahsoka season 2 in summer of 2026, and a film is expected to come out before.
Okay, so maybe the season 2 takes place then after the film. Of course, the Ahsoka is tying up all the stuff with Ezra, and then we've got Thrawn. So I could see them. This is again unsubstantiated speculation here is the Mandalorian movie tying into his wrapping up his story, but opening the door into Ahsoka season 2 to fulfill the heir to the Empire type movement.
Really, what I would love to see a series though is Hayden seems to be all on board being Anakin again, and
Yep.
the younger years do a live action Clone Wars series with younger Ahsoka and Anakin. I would love that. I mean, the way
They'd have to do it. They'd have to do it soon because Hayden's 40, and while he doesn't look bad, age will hit you all of a sudden out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, it will.
Yeah.
Well, now we can make Mark Hamill look 20. So
Yeah, but you don't want to spend the whole time on
No,
CGI and everything, the hell out of
I
everything.
know.
So,
but it would be cool. Or actually, you know what you could do to get around the Hayden issue is set it after the Clone War series, because this actress, she's getting older, and she could play Ahsoka at the end of the Clone War series, but before. So at that point, Vader is now Vader, so he can be in the suit if you want him to do guest appearances, and you could follow those years of Ahsoka being Solo.
Yeah, I doubt. I'd be honest with you, I probably wouldn't even want that. They kind of covered some of that in the animated stuff. They hinted here and there. If they did anything, I'd rather see him do like a one shot series with Hayden being Hayden or playing Anakin. But even then, I don't think we really need it. And I know he would do it again. And heck, even what's his name? So he play Obi-Wan again. So,
well, for that, I would like to see Hayden come back. I would like a Darth Vader centered series where we follow Vader and make it a very dark series, and him doing whatever.
Yeah.
And the nice thing there is you can set it in any timeline at that point, because up to when he dies in Return of the Jedi. You could do you got a wide range where he's in the armor.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I'd like to see him get past all that and just start moving on with some new storylines and create.
I don't want any new storylines till Kathleen Kennedy's gone.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is create new storylines that's not the garbage that already came out. So
right.
And the thing is this: I know Filoni and them, they're not going to wipe out the whole Rey stuff. I think they're circumnavigating it, but I really think that they could set it up with Ahsoka. With what they set up at season 2, if they want to fulfill that in that season, that's fine. But they could really set up the whole heir to the Empire, the Dark Force, and all that. There's those 3 type stories they could kind of move into that would cover quite a bit of story, and then from there they could launch something that could spin around the sequel series and start off fresh.
I think exactly. It's do a time jump of 100 years or 500 years, wherever you want.
Yeah, and they want to use Rey, bring Rey towards the end of, she's at the end of her life or whatever, and here's what's happened since then, so they can gloss over like it was a time of peace stuff that also separates into here's the launch of the new whatever. But we'll see. Yeah. But they have other stories they can even go back and tell that don't really affect the Skywalker stuff. They could tell like the Old Republic stories and things like that they could tell a good story there with those.
Oh yeah, if they do it right,
unlike the High Republic didn't cover any of that, right? High Republic went and said, well, we're going to create all these new stories, and they right away Kathleen said, but you're not going to have one person, you're going to follow multiple people, and you're not going to care. Basically, she insinuated you're not going to care about any of them, which it sounds like it's the absolute truth.
Yeah.
So,
the Old Republic would give them 20 years of content if they went down that route. And for most fans now, it's probably new content because how many of the current fans under 35 read the old books? They probably don't know that content.
Well, and I also like the way they're doing with the Skeleton Crew. I could see them doing more stuff like that, and I would enjoy the heck out of that because I'm really loving the way they've gone about this. Like I said, I forgot yesterday was Tuesday that it dropped on Tuesday. I'm so used to them dropping Wednesday.
Yeah.
And but I'll have to watch that later today. But definitely Skeleton Crew has just been solid storytelling.
Yeah.
With good characters.
I guess
a nice mystery built around it.
Yeah, and it sounds like they reveal in this newest episode a new bad guy. So
yeah, I knew there had to be something else coming through, and hopefully it's something I'm hoping this is something that leads to more good story. And if they want to spend all this time in this Mandalorian style verse around that 30 years between Jedi until Force Awakens, and we get tons of great stories in there where they flesh out that whole era, I'm fine with that too.
Mhm.
You know, we don't need to go back to Ray.
No.
And I like Daisy Ridley. I liked her the way she played Ray. Problem is the storytelling. It was not her. I liked her a lot. So
Her character was great. Actually, most of the characters were great. It's just the writing. Like Finn. Finn could have been a great character. They completely ruined him.
yep.
At the end of episode 7, The Force Awakens, they set him up perfectly, and they could have really done something great there. Nope, they ruined it. They went back to the beginning, they retold his story. Like, it was weird.
Well, the second film regressed him back to being afraid and running, which is
Right.
wrong. And then the third film, he's kind of like, they didn't know what to do with him. They screwed up his character so much. Ryan Johnson did that.
Yeah.
And then JJ had to come in and fix so much stuff that really he had to gloss over everything. And then
Poe Dameron was a great character. They ruined him.
Well, Johnson did, really. Ryan Johnson did
Yeah.
that and all that one film, ruined the whole thing. And then the third film trying to redeem everybody. You can't do it. So that's why they just need to let it be what it is and just be done with it.
Make like Elsa and let it go.
Yeah. So, during the last couple weeks, we did watch some TV. I was going to talk a little bit. I did watch the entire series for Cross, which is the new Alex Cross series on Prime. Have you seen any of this yet?
I have not.
Okay. Not bad. I thought that sometimes they spend a little too much time on the political correctness of certain things within the communities when it comes to police. It did add to the story later on when it starts off. It just felt like too much of like, okay, I don't need to spend a half an hour on these protest stuff. But when they got into it, I started to really like the character of Alex Cross in this version quite a bit. He's a really good actor. I thought he brought a lot to it. And I thought that the best parts of it is when we saw Cross do his thing, and his partner sometimes like, hey, you got to let him do his thing. And he would do his thing, which is analyzing and stuff like that. I thought it brought a lot, I agree with Kevin. It was really good. It drug out a little bit. I think they got to tighten it up some story wise. And it felt like they were trying to hammer home the part about the police brutality stuff. And I'm like, it's fine. You want to bring that in, but I think that it should have been, they kept dealing with it too much instead of getting to the heart of the actual story, which is about a serial killer. Once they got into that, we had a great villain in that. The main guys in this, which is Aldous Hodge plays Alex Cross. And then Isaiah Mustafa plays Detective John Sampson. It's his partner and best friend.
Is this Amazon Prime?
Yep.
Okay.
And the last 3 episodes were great. I agree with Kevin on that. That's when it really got to the heart of the story he's running. And Isaiah Mustafa, you probably know him from the Old Spice commercials. He's the look at you, look at me. You want to look like me. Use Old Spice. So that was great. So I'm watching that at first. I didn't see who it was. He's got a bigger beard than I was used to seeing him with and stuff like that. And then when I finally realized who he was, like, oh my God. It's, I saw the name. I was like, that's who that is. It's that guy there. But really good cast. A lot of great actors and actresses in that.
Didn't he used to be in the NFL?
Isaiah Mustafa?
I think he used to be an NFL player. Let's see.
I'm not sure here. I'm pulling it right now. He's born in 1974. He's from Portland, Oregon. It doesn't say anything about the NFL.
American football wide receiver.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, 97-2000, he was on the practice squad for the Titans, Raiders, Browns, and Seahawks. So he played in college at Arizona State University. He was a teammate of Pat Tillman's. And then he graduated from Arizona State University in 97 and stuff like that. I always liked him. He popped up in different things here and there. He was always good. He's got a good commanding voice.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But definitely, it was all those Old Spice commercials people really know him from.
Those are fun.
Yeah, that was a great line right there. When you get to that line, it was good. And like I said, I thought it drug out a little bit too much within the first half of it. But when it really got to the meat of the story, and you see who the bad guy is, what's going on, how the building. I'm like, okay, this is good, and I love the dynamics between the main two guys, between Cross and his best friend John Sampson. And I really think that going forward for another season of this, I'd like to see more of that. And then, of course, you've got in this one, Alex Cross, it was his wife got killed. So there was a lot of that also in the first day. Felt like they dragged through that a lot. And then he's already got a significant other in this. and I like how they kind of dealt with some of that, but again, felt like a little dragged out in that first half. But then you've got the two kids that play his kids are really good, a boy and a girl, and then you have you find out it's they call her Nana Mama because she raised Cross, but she's the grandmother to him and also great grandmother to the kids now, so that's why she's Nana Mama. So, but done very well overall. I highly recommend it. And definitely, you push through the first couple episodes to really start getting to the meat of the story, and it takes off from there. And I'd like to see more of Cross doing his thing.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was just looking too. Stranger Things 5 is supposed to be coming out this year.
Yeah.
They finished filming in
just
December.
about a month and a half ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, 2025. No exact date according to Teen Vogue.
Yeah, I wanted to say it's going to be towards the middle of the year. But I haven't heard anything.
Well, with kids being out of school in the summer, I could see them wanting to release it.
Here we go.
Then.
Variety's got something here, so let's see what Variety says. This is when was this? It's from November. Okay, they released in November the titles of the episodes, and then I think they're splitting it into 2 seasons. I keep thinking we have February, and then it'll be like later in the year. I'm not seeing exactly on that, but I want to say I saw something about that being February for the first half. Because they've had that for a little while, so that's ready to go.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a date, so I don't think they have one assigned.
Yeah,
but summer would make the most sense.
Yeah, I mean that's typically around the time they like to do that is around the time stuff's going on. But yeah, I'm not seeing an official release date. I've seen so many different articles; it's hard to keep up on what's fact and what's not.
Yeah.
So, but we got that. Eventually, we've got Wednesday season 2 coming out.
Oh yeah, yeah. When is that supposed to be out?
Yeah,
that was good. That feels like it should be October.
Yeah. Let's see here. What do they say here?
September 19th is being teased. According to TV Guide.
Yeah, it says here later part of 2025, so we got a ways on that.
Okay. So, yeah, that was a fun series.
I liked it a lot. I watched it again this past Halloween season and enjoyed it even more. I think I did even the first watch. Just because it was, even knowing what was going to happen, I just really liked the way they built the characterization of all these characters you already know, and then adding all the new elements of new characters. So you got a nice mix of everything. So,
yeah. And then that Harry Potter series looks like it's not till 2026. So that won't be coming out this year.
Yeah, they're still announcing as they do some casting here and there.
Yeah.
They announced, I think, who they cast as Snape, and we're still waiting on that. They're going to do slow announcements of those, I think, over the next year as they get ready to start. They start filming sometime this year, though.
Right. So we'll start hearing more of that as that all happens.
Yeah. I think the next week or so, it's going to be not a lot coming out with the fires going on out in LA right now. And it's around Malibu, stuff like that. It's actually around a lot of, where stuff people are, the studios are. So I think it's a little far away, but it's not too far. So,
have you been up to date on the series Ghosts?
Yes.
Oh, that's been so fun.
Comes back at the end of this month, and
I liked how they treated the Jay in the last 2.
Well, I like the one where they
got to finally meet the other ghosts face to face.
Right, and that was kind of neat too. They basically put him out of his body, and then I did like the fact that the basement ghost, the main basement ghost we see all the time, got to be in Sam and how she was acting. That was
that was funny. That was funny. Nancy, is that
Nancy?
Yeah, Nancy.
So
she's like,
well, yeah, that one's been really good.
I love when the one guy came to authenticate the diary and
Yeah.
he had his overalls on, and they all thought he was one of the basement ghosts.
Yeah.
And he was not.
Yeah.
But those have been, they keep it lighthearted. It's been very fun. But I love when Trevor thought he was getting sucked off, as they call it, getting pulled up
Yeah.
into heaven, and it turned out to be the little ghost snail, and
Oh,
it
yeah,
went
yeah,
really slow because it's a snail.
yeah, because he had the they found he stole the snail that was a ghost snail, and
Yeah,
because he actually likes pets, was trying not to be that guy, and then he
yeah.
basically I like that he always takes off. It's like hours later, it's still going up.
Yeah. So that's been fun. Is this the last season of it?
No,
No.
no,
Oh, good.
it's still going good. I think the British one's done,
Is it?
but
I
I
can't
would
get into the British one. I tried it.
yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah, I think it's I'm not sure how far out it's renewed for, but I know it can't be the final season because it's too good a show. It's going really well. I can see this going for several more years, and
They have to have at least one more season. Where is it, like, the sweet spot for syndication? Is it 5 seasons?
it's number of episodes, but nowadays though that doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah, because syndication was because of like for here in Detroit, we have channel 20 and channel 50 were our two like non-network channels for growing up, stuff like that. And then you had other channels here and there. But for the most part, syndication was, I want to say it was 90 episodes, 95 or something around that, 80 to 95 or somewhere in there, allowed you to have good syndication because then you could run it every day after, when they have the shows. Like, hey, remember you saw Big Bang Theory? It's going to be on. That was a big deal. It's going to syndication. They had enough episodes to run.
Right.
It went to TBS, and you had it on a local channel, and you have to have enough to where you're not cycling through them so fast.
Right.
That people are like, oh, we just watched the whole series again in like a month.
Right.
So
But you
stuff
still
like
get that on like TBS, and there are some of those networks where it's like 24 hours a day of Seinfeld or of Friends or whatever.
Yeah, and that's what's part of the changes, especially with streaming, has even affected that a lot too.
Yeah.
So that's what changed on all that stuff. So in terms of, that's why we see a lot of these series now. They're like, hey, we're going to end it at this point because it tells a good story and we're done with it, and then it can get rerun wherever. Because most of it ends up on the streaming networks more than on the other stuff. The TBS, TNT, stuff like that. They kind of just stick to the same things over and over again. I mean, you had Comedy Central picked up The Office, so The Office is playing there. I think it's exclusively at Comedy Central here in the U.S., and that's what you're seeing a lot more of. Is it's not so many how many episodes; it's exclusivity of running it.
Right.
So, that's kind of what it is. But yeah, syndication has changed so much in the last.
It has,
and a lot of it was because we had 22 episodes a season. You wanted to go, I think it was 4 or 5 seasons. So 4 would get you that 80 mark. And then
because they used to do like, what was it, like 20, 25 episodes a season or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now a typical season is like 8 to 10 episodes.
Yeah. So, and different things here. One thing says 100 episodes. So I've heard anywhere, I think the minimum is around the 80 or 85.
Yeah.
And because they figure, okay, if you showed it 2 episodes a day for 5 days a week, that's 10 episodes. So they could go through a season every 2.5 weeks. And if they had 5 seasons, it took them out like 3-4 months.
Right.
And then when they're starting up again, because then people are now catching the ones they missed because of whatever reason, stuff like that. But
right.
But yeah, it's nowadays. I mean, that's why we get got more of the towards the British model, which was always like 6 episodes, maybe 13, depending on certain things. And then and they called them, instead of seasons, they called them series. We still call them seasons, but even in certain things like the reality shows, they look like a Diners, Drive-Ins, Dives. They'll have 2 or 3 seasons in 1 year. They show X one episode, stop. Okay, start up again. Here's the new episodes. They call it a new season.
Right.
Reality shows, same thing. They have 2 seasons a year, pretty much. Because you have like the fall
Survivor's on like season 50.
Yeah, but when you're on 20 years and you're doing 2 to 3 a year,
right,
it adds on pretty quick.
It does,
stuff like that. But I think with Ghosts, Ghosts is,
they're still managing to make it fresh and the different scenarios.
Yeah, and they've added in new ghosts, and I think it's been the key is that they even hinted this last episode Well, basically, I think it was Flower came out and talked about something like all the other ghosts, and Sam and Jay were like, more ghosts. So the property has a lot. They just don't all come in the house.
Right.
So now they can do that. We had the Puritan woman and stuff like that. But it's in terms of where they're at with the series. I don't see them not renewing this before because I think it's even at a higher rate of people knowing what it is versus what it was even in the last couple years.
Right.
So, and this is only season 4. I could see this going, 6, 8, 10 seasons, and not and still being fun. It's kind of like it's kind of going in the past similar to like Big Bang Theory. That went 11 years. So technically it's not been renewed for a 5th season, but they're just, that's because CBS renews year to year anymore. They're not really doing multiple year renewals. But I don't see that not getting renewed. The ratings are good. It's a solid show. It's being talked about a lot. You look on just the Facebooks, you can see all the different stuff they share from the cast.
Yeah.
And all the behind the scenes stuff. And there's like tens of thousands of clicks on those.
Yeah.
So
the other thing too is when a show doesn't get renewed, it doesn't mean it's not renewed. It just means that because now they'll shop it and another studio might pick it up and do season 5.
Yeah.
Like Karate Kid. Apple TV started it. Or was it Apple or YouTube?
No, it's YouTube. YouTube Red.
Yeah, and then Netflix took it over.
Yeah, when YouTube Red decided to get out of the new content, is basically what it was.
Yeah.
They pitched it around and got picked up, which was the best thing for it. It took off even more from there.
Yeah. In the old days, a show was dead once a studio didn't want it anymore.
Yeah, you had some that would get picked up here and there, but for the most part, it was done. There's some that bounced a couple networks, and then because they knew that they need to get like another season or two, and that's where the syndication stuff came in. But yeah, I think with Ghost, we'll see several more years in this because I think it's, I don't know if we'll eventually see them actually have a kid. I know in real life Sam had a kid, so they had to work around her pregnancy in the last season. But I like how they're introducing little things like, okay, we have ghost snails. It's little things like that. We're like, okay, there's more that could come out of all this than what they're hinting at now. So it leads me to believe that idea wise, they got a whole notebook full and they're surpassing everything the UK one did.
Yeah. And the show is goofy enough. It's like set in realism, but it's goofy enough. You can do weird stuff in there and it works for that universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's something too. According to MSN, Orville season 4 is reportedly happening this year.
That'd be nice.
So
I love Orville.
So.
I haven't watched it in a while. I'll have to go back and rewatch Orville. I haven't rewatched it in a while, so it might be on my list of when I'm looking for something. Just pop that back up. But I know Scott Grimes been talking about it for the last several months.
Yeah,
hinting at it, I should say.
Yeah, he claims it'll enter pre-production in 2025. So hopefully, Orville is down on the horizon there.
Well, we could see a late fall then on that one if they're really going to push forward on that, or early next year.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice.
Yeah.
I liked the Orville. I thought it was very solid. I'm just looking forward to, the Star Trek, Strange New Worlds and. So I know we got the new Michelle Yeoh one. I may check that out.
And that'll be season 3 for the next one. Let's see. Early 2025, this says. It doesn't say.
Yeah. And then Wikipedia says a 4th season was ordered. So they got a 3rd and 4th season. Oh. But they haven't announced any dates on that yet. And that'll be straight to Paramount Plus.
Cool. According to this, some footage premiered at the 2024 New York Comic-Con.
Oh, okay.
So there was footage of season 3 shown.
Okay.
So, yeah. Early May, this one is saying on trekmovie.com.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, cool.
So, there'll be a few things looking forward to this year on the streaming stuff besides the theater stuff and all that. So, I'm looking forward to a bunch of that. And then, of course, we've got the new Last Light. I sent Scott the 11 pages.
Yes, so just doing the final little touch-ups and layouts. I'm working on layouts, and we'll be getting that ordered within a couple weeks. Right now, I'm So I got my condo. I've been ripping apart to everything out.
Basically, taking it down to the studs.
Oh yeah, it's a big job, but it's been fun. We are now in the phase of we're putting more things back together instead of ripping apart. So it's starting to take shape. So pretty soon I'll be able to do some unveilings of that.
Yes, and all of our friends out in the west side of the country here. Days of the Dead, January 17th, 19th. That's next week. That's Kevin.
Yeah.
Is heading out to Vegas.
Ace Frehley.
Yes, so he's going out there and going to have the Bardstone stuff, have Poe and all that stuff. So go on and check. He's got a lot of cool artwork. Terrifier having a reunion out there for all the cast. And Derek. I ain't seen Derek in a while. He's a good guy.
Oh, yeah.
And that and Doug Bradley. So a lot of great Revenge of the Nerds reunion. There you go. So David Naughton, America Well mentioned that earlier in the show today. Tom Skerritt. I'll tell you, I was talking a guy I know, he's an autograph collector, and there's certain people, it's like, if you see him and you got a chance, go get him now. Tom Skerritt would be one of those. He's not young. He's been around for a long time, and no telling how many more chances you have to get his autograph. So if you're a big autograph hound on that, but definitely go see our buddy Kevin. He's going to be out there promoting his artwork, some of the books we got going on, Bardstone stuff. So definitely check that out. And it's at the plaza there, just off of Fremont Street.
Yeah.
So
nice.
One of the older hotels, but it's a really nice one. I've been there a couple times just playing on the games and stuff like that. Right there by the Fremont Experience, as they call it now. Yeah. So go check out Kevin, and then we'll be talking about London pretty soon. That'll be coming up, as well as Great Lakes Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So we got
a lot coming up.
Bardstone's got some shows this year, people.
That's right. Come get your books.
Yeah, and if you got a book you bought for us online and wasn't signed, bring it to us. We'll sign it for you. We'll deface it any way you want.
There you go.
All right. Hey, join us next week. We'll see you next time.
Take
Bye.
care.